The following is a presentation of the Game Time Sports Network. From the campus of Cleveland State Community College at L. Quinton Lane Gymnasium, this is Cleveland State Cougars women's basketball. And now, it's game time. Yes, indeed, folks. It is once again game time. I'm Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. So glad to be with you here for Cleveland State Lady Cougars basketball. Yeah, boy, Jay Harper here as we are just minutes away from getting things started as the Lady Cougars are welcoming the Lady Tigers from Chattanooga State. Chattanooga State here in this TCCAA conference matchup, having somewhat of an off year under longtime head coach Stacy Franklin. She's assisted by Mariah Cummings. The Lady Tigers coming into this game with a 4-14 overall record, 3-7 in the conference. Again, this just, hey, it happens. Somewhat of an off season for the Lady Tigers. They are usually quite competitive in the TCCAA, but you know, hey, anything can happen, right? No team is to be taken lightly. The Lady Tigers coming in 10th out of 11 teams in the TCCAA. Some playmakers, though, on this Lady Tigers team. They have 4 sophomores, one of whom is the leading scorer on the season in her per game average, 14.6 points per game for Layla Bolden. Layla, again, one of the sophomores for Coach Franklin. She is a 5'8 sophomore. She went to Van Buren High School, and she comes from Spencer, Tennessee. Another playmaker is a talented young freshman, Akaya Woods. Akaya, she hails from Bartlett, Tennessee, went to Bartlett High, and again, she is a 5'7" freshman. Kimora Curry, she too one of the leading scorers. Woods, she averages, though, 10.6 points per game. Kimora Curry, she averaging 7.8 points per game overall on the season. And Curry, one of the 4 sophomores for Coach Franklin. Kimora from Jackson, Tennessee. Now we turn to the hosting Lady Cougars of Cleveland State. Coaches Yana McWilliams along with Deshae McGloster. They have 3 sophomores on the floor tonight for the Lady Cougars. They are Ciara Thompson as well as Erin Dixon and Marnasia Houston. The Lady Cougars coming in with, a pretty impressive overall record with the 11-7 and 5-5 in the conference. So coming in at 500. Sloan Pender, she has pretty well been the leading scorer all season long for Coach McWilliams. Sloan is a freshman. Dalton, Georgia, just down the road, is from where she hails. A 5'7" freshman. Sloan Pender averaging 13.4 points per game. Macy Collins, also a playmaker. Macy is a tall freshman out of Ringgold, Georgia. Macy averaging 9.9 points per game. Again, quite the playmaker. And then there is the sophomore, Marnasia Houston. She can really get in there and battle in the paint. And she comes in with a 9.7 points per game average on the season. The Lady Cougars 5th in the TCCAA standings for the 25-26 season. Again, I'm Jay Harper. This is the Game Time Sports Network, as we are just moments away from getting the starting lineups announced and the national anthem played. And then we'll have the tip. And of course, the men's game following this one, scheduled for 7:30 Eastern Time on the Game Time Sports Network. So, as we now pause for our national anthem and the starting lineups.
Good evening, welcome to Cleveland State Lady Cougars for a couple of basketball games tonight. The Lady Cougars against the Lady Tigers of Chattanooga State. Before we give the introduction to the ladies game, we'd like to please rise this time to move your caps as an honorary to the player last night. And now for the Lady Tigers, here's your starters. Number 11, Savannah McDonald. Number 12, Tyler Woods. Number 14, Warren Curry. Number 20, Love Howard. And number 23, Leila Bolden, the Lady Tigers against Casey Franklin. And now for the Lady Cougars of Cleveland State, here's your starters. The high 7 person from Sloan Peter. 5 main person from 15 Baker. 5 person from Kayla Lopez. The 6-year sophomore, number 2, Marlene Houston. And number 23, a 5'9" freshman, Macy Collins from the Cougars. Coached by Yana Williams, Lachey, and Luster.
So the starting 5, I know it's difficult to hear there, for the Lady Cougars: Sloan Pinder, Kennedy Baker, along with Kayla Lopez, Marnasia Houston, and Macy Collins. Savannah McDonald, Zakiah Woods, Kimora Curry, Love Howard, and Leila Bolden, the starting 5 for the Lady Tigers of Chattanooga State, as Kennedy Baker, along with McDonald, in the circle, and the Lady Cougars get the tip, and away we go. Macy Collins feeding it, and nothing happening there, as the Tigers, the Lady Tigers of Chattanooga State, bring the ball down. This is Kimora Curry, who feeds it now over to Bolden. Leila goes far corner and gets it to Zakiah Woods, who loses the handle. It's Lopez racing down the floor now. for the Lady Cougars. Finding Collins. Again, Macy Collins averaging 9.9 points per game, getting it up under the basket to Houston, and we have our first points in this one. Bolden now gets it to Curry. Curry being chased by Pinder, and Curry off the glass. A pretty move to even things up at 2 apiece. Kennedy now gets it to Lopez. Kayla looking for some help. Beautiful bounce pass over to Collins, but Macy can't get the shot to fall as Bolden brings it down now for Chattanooga State. Here's Curry with Kennedy, a hand in her face. Kennedy Baker. Now it's Collins chasing Bolden around. And up off the glass and drawing the foul is Savannah McDonald. McDonald goes to the free throw line. Savannah is a freshman from Homewood, Alabama. Shooting 52.6% from the free throw line. Can't connect there as Lopez comes up with it for the Lady Cougars. Giving it over to Houston now, who finds Kennedy Baker. Lopez gets it to the leading scorer for Coach McWilliams. That would be number 1 Pinder, but there is Collins who gives it to Lopez. The heave-ho doesn't go. Rebound, Chat State. Curry races toward the bucket. Nice, pretty move. Can't connect. Rebound, Cougars. The bounce pass skirts away. This is Akaya Woods, number 12, bringing it down the floor. And the pass now over to McDonald. Now back to Woods. Here's Bolden now, 23 up against 23. And the long three-point shot does not fall. Saving the rebound is Houston, who feeds it now to Lopez. Kayla racing down the floor. Feeds it off to Pinder. That three-point shot looked good on the way out, but does not go. Big long pass from Bolden, who grabs the rebound for the Lady Tigers. The shot in and out, but the putback is successful by Woods. And we have a 30-second timeout as the tempo is a fast one here to get us started in this first period from L. Quinton Lane Gymnasium on the campus of Cleveland State. Again, Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, excited to be here. Hopefully everybody is safe and dry and has thawed out a bit. Yeah, it has been interesting to say the least here the last several days. All right, now here is Lopez as she looks for an open player, finds one with Collins. Kennedy Baker over to Pinder. Sloan looking for help, finds it with Lopez. Now Kayla spins the move, the nice bounce pass to Collins, and beautiful move, and the 2 points. The long three-point attempt from the far corner does not go from Curry, as Pinder brings it down now for the Lady Cougars. We're just down by a couple here. Curry and Pinder, nice spin from Pinder, and And the layup does not fall. There's Curry to grab the rebound. Dribbles it off her foot, but they're calling a walking with the ball. 5:37 remaining in this first quarter. And the inbound goes to Lopez. Kayla brings it across, finds Collins. Macy, one of the taller players on the floor. Collins, number 23 in white for the Lady Cougars. She gets the pass. She's chased by 23 in orange, Layla Bolden. Nice bounce pass over to Baker. Oh, can't get it to go. Rebound, Chat State. And here is Akaya Woods to slow it down just a little. Tried to feed it to Cassidy Thomas, who's in the game now, number 4 at orange for Chat State. Cassidy is out of Florence, Alabama. 5'8", freshman. And Macy Collins gets a breather as Ziara Thompson, another sophomore for Coach McWilliams, will step on the floor. Ziara from Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Layla Bolden finds Thomas. Now back over to Curry. Curry, she is quick. And the ball swatted away. Possession now, Lady Cougars. Lopez gets it to Thompson, who is guarded by Thomas. Now Kennedy Baker over in the far corner to Lopez. And Pinder taking a three-point shot. Too long. There's Curry with the rebound. And we have jump ball as possession goes to the Tigers. 4:14 to go in this first period. Here's Woods out of Bartlett, Tennessee. She steps on the gas, but then feeds it off to Bolden, who in turn gets it back over to Curry. Kimora Curry from Jackson, Tennessee. A player that got away from Coach Kelvin Lester over at Jackson State, apparently. As Woods now with the ball in her hands, gets it back over to Bolden. And a nice move from Layla. Now Woods thought about a three, but then gets in the paint and gets the fortuitous roll to double up the score here at 8-4. Kennedy Baker tried to get it to Houston, and the pass goes awry. And there's Curry. Kimura backing away a bit, and setting the pick is Nora Walkup. She is just entering the game, number 52, another sophomore for Coach Franklin for Chat State. Bolden now in the far corner, and nothing there as Houston grabs it off the board, and Lopez brings it down for the Lady Cougars. Kennedy Baker now. Gave a long look to the basket, but then passed it off to Houston, and the left-handed shot from Marnasia does not go. Bringing it down is Akaya Woods. Gets it to Curry, now to Walkup in the paint. She tried to post up, but then decided to feed it back out to Woods, who in turn gets it back over to Curry. And the jumper is good. Nice little jump shot from Kimora Curry. We are coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this fast-paced first quarter as Kennedy Baker feeds it now over to Lopez with Woods in her face. The pass to Houston, and she just can't get that layup to go, but she hangs with it. And the putback is successful to make it 10-8. Or pardon me, 10-6. And the shot doesn't go, but there's Houston to grab the rebound. Lopez finds Ziara Thompson. Now back over to Kayla. Lopez, a quick look over to Coach McWilliams. And a little pinball action there as the ball bounced around off the hands of a number of players. Now here's Cassidy Thomas. The shot doesn't go, but rebound Woods, and she got inadvertently popped in the face by Kennedy Baker. And Kennedy gets called for the foul, however, with 1 minute, 3 seconds to go in this first quarter. And now Collins and Dixon, Aaron Dixon in the game now to replace Kennedy Baker and Marnasia Houston for Coach McWilliams and the Cleveland State Lady Cougars. Up to the free throw line is Akia Woods, shooting 55.6% from the line. She pops that one in there. And that's short off the front of the rim. And Ziara Thompson grabs it off the rim. Lopez gets it over to Ziara. There's Bolden on her hip. And that just does not roll Cleveland State's way as Kimura Curry brings it across for Chat State. Now it's back in Curry's hands as Sloan Pinder guards Curry. Thomas coming up trying to set the pick, but Pinder just stepped around her. Now here comes Lopez once again, and slapped out of Lopez's hand by Curry. We're just at 19 seconds to go in this first quarter. So Macy Collins will inbound it now for Cleveland State. Gets it to Aaron Dixon. Now here's Lopez backing away, surveying the situation as she looks over at Coach McWilliams quickly and takes the shot. 6 seconds were on the shot clock when she threw it up there. And that also the game clock. So again, a fast-paced first period here. Puts Chattanooga State up by 5, 11-6. Again, I'm Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. We are the only authorized live stream for Cleveland State athletics. And we are certainly proud to be just that. The men, they will square off. It's scheduled to begin at 7:30 Eastern Time. That ought to be a dandy. Coach Jay Price up against Coach Raphael Howard. Coach Howard for Cleveland State, of course. Chat State. Watch those guys come into the building. And my goodness, they've got some players that I swear look like their heads were about to scrape the bottom of the rim. Some tall dudes on that Chat State team. Now let's get back over to the action as the second quarter is now underway. As Lopez will inbound it. Well, looks like Pinder's going to do that now. Sloan gets it into Dixon. Aaron, yeah, she finds Collins now. Macy a little zigging and a zagging. And they got her for walking with the ball. Kimora Curry once again bringing it down. Being guarded by Zara Thompson. Now here is Bolton. Layla has Simora Thompson chasing her. Now Curry pulls up for the jumper, and it is good. Pinder to Collins at the top of the key. Tried to pass it over to Dixon. Aaron almost looked like she wasn't really expecting the ball. Seemed to have caught her off guard just a bit. Curry gets it over to Layla Bolden, the leading scorer for Chattanooga State. Now back over to Curry. Curry looking for a lane. It closes quickly. Feeding it over now to Love Howard, number 20. And possession now to the Lady Cougars as Kayla Lopez gets it to a wide open Thompson and making it off the glass for a three-point shot. That makes it 13-9, Chattanooga State. Kimora Curry, double team. Now she gets up in the paint, feeds it back out to Howard, and Love Howard, her shot doesn't fall, but there's Curry to grab the rebound. Kimora Curry, one of the leaders on this team, a sophomore out of Jackson, Tennessee. Now here's Rachel Burkhalter, another one of the four sophomores, and the pass gets past to Maya Tanner. Tanner recently entering the game. She's from right here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Collins finds Thompson in the far corner. Now back over to Macy Collins. Macy with a beautiful move to put it in. That makes it 13-11. Kimora Curry as Damoni Capana trying to guard her. Capana recently entering the game, number 0 for Cleveland State. Lopez brings it across the halfway line. Now Capana fed it over to Collins. Now she races over to the far corner, and that's Thompson with a three-point attempt. And it is good. And that puts the Lady Cougars on top, coming all the way back. They were down by a considerable margin in that first period, but due to primarily a couple of three-point shots, pull ahead as a timeout is called by Coach Franklin and Chattanooga State. .6:53 remaining in the first half as the Lady Cougars have pulled ahead by 1. Down the floor comes Woods. And of course, who else do you get the ball to? Kimora Curry. Now Bolton with it. She weaves in and out of traffic. The shot a little short as Marnasia Houston grabs it off the rim, gets it to Lopez, who finds Capana, rolls in and out. And the track meet continues as Curry finds Woods. Now back over to Curry, who gives the signal to the troops. Coming out to greet and take possession is Bolden. And Bolden gets it back over to Curry now. A little shake and bake in the paint and a good-looking attempt, but no go. Capana, the pass from Lopez. Now back over to Lopez, who gets it to Collins. Thompson now had it swatted for just a moment, but Tiara able to maintain possession. Or that's Ziara. Don't know why I called her Tiara. She would probably look good in a tiara. However, her name is Ziara. I think I was going to do the Tiara Thompson as opposed to Ziara Thompson. But here is Bolden. And she is fouled, it appears. Yeah, 0. That would be Capana. She gets called for the infraction, and that will send Layla Bolden to the free throw line. Layla, a decent free throw shooter. 72.3% on the year. So those free throws put Chattanooga State back up by 1. And moving the ball around the perimeter here. Pinder, the heave-ho, no go. There is Houston. She had the rebound, but then lost the grip on the ball, and possession does hang with Cleveland State with 5:02 to go in this first half. Houston up under the bucket, can't get it to go with the left hand. And here comes Curry, feeding it down to Woods. Woods with all kind of big white shirts around her, but she manages to feed the ball out to the outer perimeter, and then Woods gets the rebound on the shot from McDonald. Finding Lopez. Now here's Houston, a little short jumper. It's a little too long. And there's Curry. Bolden thought about a long three-point attempt and elects to get it back over to Curry, who takes a couple of steps, takes a shot, nothing there. Capana grabbing it off the glass as Lopez carries it across with 4:03 remaining in the first half. Pinder, and I think she just dribbled it off her foot. Of course, Curry was there to get in her way a bit. I think that certainly affected things. Cassidy Thomas back in the game for Coach Franklin. So is Nora Walkup, number 52 in orange. Curry over to Bolden, the left-handed shot. Oh, so close. Rebound. Woods back over to Curry now. And Bolden, a short jumper, and it is good for the leading scorer. Layla Bolden puts it in to make it 19-14. Oh, as Kennedy Baker charged toward the glass and loses her footing. She is fouled. So Baker will step to the line to shoot 2. Kennedy is 64.6% from the free throw line. That one a little too hard. And the favorable roll, you'll take them. As that second free throw does manage to fall. The Lady Cougars were up 15-14 at one point, or pardon me, 14-13. But now Chattanooga State back up as Macy Collins hits the floor hard. And there's Curry. She is certainly ever present. And Kennedy Baker swatting it away, gets it over to Pender now. Sloan feeds it over to Macy Collins. And Macy, does she draw the foul? I believe she did. It's a good hustle there from Kennedy Baker as she comes up on the steal. She takes a breather after that tussle, and now Ziara Thompson subbing for Baker as Collins is successful on the first free throw attempt. It's a chance to pull within 2 here and does not connect. Bolden, a big long pass over to who else? Curry. And she apparently stepped out with 2:15 to go in this first half. Kayla Lopez, a slow walk across midcourt. And Curry. Oh, no. Well, she did slap it away out of Pender's hands, but it goes out. And here is Lopez to inbound it now. Or, pardon me, this is Pender that will inbound it. And there's Houston. And back over to Sloan. Collins thinking about a shot. Decides to post up. And, oh, just nothing there. She had a clear lane. The left-handed shot from Bolden, the three-point attempt. Not successful. As now Collins, the long pass from Lopez. Now Pender. And that is a three-point shot that ties us up. 1:33 remaining in this first half. As we have a 30-second timeout on behalf of Chattanooga State. Yeah, this has been a dandy. I must say, it is hard to believe that this Chattanooga State is 4-14 overall. Oh my goodness, they are a hustling team, some talented players. As I said, Coach Franklin usually has a very good team. Again, this is a talented team. It's just hard to imagine. They're 3-7 in the TCCAA. Woods brings the ball down. She's greeted by Kayla Lopez. Now here's Bolden. Layla with the jumper, and it is good to put the Lady Tigers back up by a pair. Collins and Macy gets her own rebound, and the putback isn't successful, but she does draw the whistle as Thomas is flagged for the foul. That will send Macy to the line. Macy, 57.6% free throw shooter. That one doesn't fall. And that one does. Woods. And now a walk up. And Nora's shot just a bit off the target. Big long pass over to Thompson, who's all by herself, and she quickly draws a crowd, but not before she can put the Lady Cougars back on top by 1. Cassidy Thomas, freshman from Florence, Alabama, gets it over to Bolden, and Thomas now, and she stepped out of bounds, trying to maintain possession for the Lady Tigers. 23.5 seconds to go in this first half. Collins over to Thompson. Now here is Kayla. Shot clock is off. Game clock at 6 seconds. Taking a last second shot. And Houston just can't get the fortuitous bounce. That will take us now to the end of the second period and thus halftime here at L. Quinton Lane Gymnasium on the campus of Cleveland State. So, wow, that was an up-tempo first half. It took about 30 minutes to play. So these young ladies are just blowing up and down the court. The second half ought to be interesting. This could be one of those whoever scores last wins kind of games. We invite you to rejoin us here in about 10 minutes as it is halftime on the Game Time Sports Network. We are just a couple of minutes away from resuming play here for the third quarter, thus the second half. With the Lady Cougars up by a point, 22-21. Leading scorers at the half, Macy Collins for the Lady Cougars. She has 6 points. Followed by Marnasia Houston. She's got 4. Sierra Thompson, however, leads the Lady Cougars with 8 points in that first half. Sloan Pender with 3, and the 3 points that she has are from a 3-point shot that was successful. The Lady Tigers of Chattanooga State, their leading scorer, Akaya Woods. And then there's Kimora Curry with 6 points. Also Layla Bolton with 6 points in that first half. The Lady Tigers definitely winning the rebound battle, 25-18. And 18 defensive rebounds out of that 25. So winning the battle on the boards. If the Lady Cougars can perhaps make up some differential there in this second half, they may indeed be able to hang on here. Again, I'm Jay Harper. Thank you for joining us here on the Game Time Sports Network. A nice crowd here at El Quinton Lane Gymnasium to root on both of these teams. Of course, Cleveland and Chattanooga just about 25 miles apart, so you got a good little group representing Chattanooga State as well here at this game. Akaya Woods feeds it over to Bolton, and the shot was deflected by Kennedy, and now Kennedy Baker, can't capitalize on the steal. But a heck of an effort. She gets fouled. Kennedy to the free throw line. A 64.6% shooter on the season from the free throw line. And she sinks the first. And can't get the second one to go, but there is Collins. And she tried to put back, but nothing there. Down the floor come the Lady Tigers. And of course, you've got to get the ball in the hands of their playmaker, Kimora Curry. Kimora with 6 points in that first half. Bolton being guarded by Lopez. Now Baker picks her up. And struggle for possession of the ball. And the Cougars come up with it out of the scrum. Kennedy Baker feeds it over to Lopez. Kayla waves her teammates toward the basket. And almost losing the ball there, but maintaining possession. And that, a 3-point shot for Cleveland State. That puts the Lady Cougars up by 5. This is McDonald racing to the bucket, but there is the taller Houston to have something to say about it. Now here's Love. Nice bounce pass over to Woods, but she can't maintain possession. As Lopez picks it up, races to the basket. Nice bounce pass over to Houston. Marnasia's shot doesn't get the good roll. Now here comes Curry. Kimora feeding it to Woods. She takes a shot, and it is a beautiful jumper. And we have a timeout here in the early going. 8:09 left in this third quarter. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, will have the men's game following this one at 7:30 Eastern Time. I also want to remind folks that we will be on the scene at Motlow State as the Game Time Sports Network, the only authorized live streamer for Motlow State athletics. There are some others out there that try, but anyway, there are some changes to the schedule on Saturday. Motlow State and Volunteer State, those games move to 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's Central Time. The women at 11 a.m. and the men at 1 p.m. And the voice of the Volunteer State Pioneers, Tim Reese, will be assisting me on the call. Good to see my old pal Tim. So we'll team up for the call on Saturday with Motlow State and Volunteer State here on the Game Time Sports Network. Kimora Curry with the ball in her hands. That's always dangerous as she is a scrappy, talented player. Oh, as Bolden loses her footing, slid on the floor as she looks down at the hardwood like, what the heck did I step on? No moisture apparently. Just kind of a slick spot over there. Here's Lopez. Gets it to Kennedy Baker. Now over to Sloan Pinder. And Kennedy races into the paint. A little short jumper. And that is good to put the Cougars up by 7. The biggest lead thus far here tonight. Kimora Curry. And she finds Woods. Akaya's shot. Pretty little finger roll is successful. Kayla Lopez. Kennedy Baker now. And oh, what a pass! Oh my gosh! Finding the open lane and getting the pass over to Collins. Beautiful shot, beautiful pass, 32-25 Lady Cougars. Love pulls up for the left-handed shot. A lot of lefties in this game. Baker goes into another gear, and she is run into by Woods. And Akaya gets flagged for the foul, so that will send Kennedy Baker to the free throw line. 6:25 to go. So we're not even, well, about two-thirds of the way, or a third of the way through this third quarter. I think a lot of folks are, the big crowd here, I think, do in one way. People are just happy to get out of the stinking house. After many of us have been iced in. Nice ball movement here for Chat State. Getting it over to Nora Walkup. Her shot doesn't land. And here's Kennedy Baker hustling down the floor. Nice bounce pass on the part of Baker and also Lopez, but Houston couldn't grab the Lopez bounce pass. Cassidy Thomas racing through traffic. Baker, just a beautiful job of saving that. But Chattanooga State comes up with it. Bolton backs away with Sloan Pinder guarding her. Now Walkup trying to set the pick. Bolton's shot deflected. Was she fouled? I believe so. Nope. Looks like Collins is going to sub here as Macy comes in to give Kennedy Baker a rest. Baker got popped in the eye, I believe, as she's wiping her right eye, watering up on her. Here's Bolden now. Beautiful pass over to Walkup. She turns around for the jumper. Nice job. Nora Walkup, one of the 4 sophomores for Chattanooga State. Pinder finds Thompson and dribbling it off her foot. So possession will go over to Chat State with 5:13 remaining. Bolden works her way around the perimeter, gets it to Curry. Her shot is short, but there's Walkup to grab it. But hey, Sloan Pinder says, "Give me that." Just ripped it right out of her hands. And now the three-pointer. Oh, so close. Sloan does have a three-pointer in this game and almost had another. And the ball gets swatted around, but ultimately it's Sloan Pinder to grab the ball and race down the floor. Thomas swats at it. Do they call the foul? Yeah, they do. Thomas, she gets flagged for her second foul, and that will send Sloan Pinder to the free throw line. Sloan leads the team in points per game average, but has a little difficulty from the line, unfortunately. 46.7%, so she's under 50% from the free throw line. And gets the favorable bounce there. She'll take it. 34-27 our score with 4:27 in this third period. Woods being trailed by Lopez, and now that three-point shot is good for Cassidy Thomas. Lady Tigers down by only 4. Sloan Pinder looks for some help. Collins steps out to take the pass, and Marnasia Houston tried to toss it up there with the left hand, and no go. Here comes Woods now. Akaya gets it to Thomas. Cassidy elects to get it over to Curry now, and Kimura, soft touch, good for 2. Talented player, Kimura Curry. Now just down by a pair are the Lady Tigers. And a nice move, nice shot, drawing the foul. The freshman, Macy Collins, from Ringgold, Georgia, 5'9". Shot is good. And she will step to the free throw line, and she has a little friendly chat with one of the officials. They were kind of yucking it up there. And that is good, a three-point play. Woods getting it to Bolton. They've pretty well kept Layla a little quiet in this game, the leading scorer for Coach Franklin and Chat State. That shot off the mark a bit. There's the big tall Marnasia Houston to pull it down off the boards as she feeds it over to Lopez, who finds Pinder in the far corner. Oh, just barely missing the shot as Chat State grabs the defensive rebound. They lead in that category in this game. They lead in rebounds altogether, 25-18 at the half. Woods' shot is short. Rebound, Cleveland State. Lopez, the bounce pass off the foot of Love. Here's Curry. And there's Macy Collins to get in her face, but that does not alter Curry's shot. 37-34. So Chat State able to make up some of the difference here after being down by 7 at one point. Marnasia Houston now will get to step to the line after that shot does count and make it 39-34. I have got the cutest little baby looking at me and smiling. Yeah, I know. She's like, who's the funny looking guy? As Woods brings it down the floor and losing. Okay, it was swatted out by a Cleveland State player, so Chat State retains possession. Here's Woods now. Curry. And she is denied, but we've got a foul. So Kimura to the free throw line she goes to shoot two. If she makes them. With 1 minute, 25 seconds to go in this third. Well, there, she made that one, so could be down by only 3 if she sinks this next one. And Houston, she falls hard trying to grab that rebound. Houston inbounds it, gets it to Bolden. Layla works her way around the perimeter with Sierra Thompson on her heels. Now Bolden sees a lane, takes it. Nice job by Chattanooga State's leading scorer, Layla Bolden. Down by just a pair here with 1 minute to go in the third period. Collins finds Houston. Marnasia elects to feed it over to Lopez. Kayla, the shortest player on the floor just about every game, but boy, nothing intimidates this young lady. She is willing to duke it out in the paint, and a nice putback by Houston with under 35 seconds to play. Up by 4 are the Lady Cougars with 29.6 seconds on the clock. Third period action from El Quinton Lane Gymnasium. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. If the men's game can be half as good as this one, we will have indeed a dandy doubleheader. Lopez down the floor, finds Pinder. Macy Collins being trailed by Love. Now back over to Kayla. 8 seconds, 7 seconds in the period. Houston now has it deflected by Woods with 3.9 seconds in this third period. And Macy Collins left all alone on the inbound pass to make it 43-37. As we now make our way to the fourth and final period, final quarter. And what has been an up-tempo exciting game. Good stuff here. And you can see the Cleveland State men making their way across the floor as they head to their locker room. The Chattanooga State men's team, they were in the stands here a moment ago. Well, pretty much for that first half, cheering on their counterparts on the ladies squad before they made their way to their locker room. The men's game scheduled to begin in less than an hour, 7:30 Eastern. So, away we go. Quarter number 4. And Woods gets us started for Chat State. And she slips it over to Curry. Kimura looking for a lane, decides to get it over to Bolden. And now Layla backs away, feeds it back over to Curry. Kimura takes a step, couple of steps. And the ball swatted away. No foul there, as I believe it was Baker that just had all ball, but possession. Chat State. Walk up, gets the inbound, right back to Curry. There's Baker with her good defense. And they get that shot away before the shot clock goes off. So that will make it 43-39. And the heave-ho doesn't go from Kennedy Baker. Layla Bolden gets the ball and just knocks the bottom out of the bucket for a three-point shot that puts Chat State down by only 1. Cleveland State, yeah. Coach McWilliams and McGloster, they want to take a breather. Let's talk about this, ladies. As Chattanooga State has made up the difference quite a bit here. They were down by 7 and now find themselves just down by 1 with 8:54 to go in this game. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, the only authorized live stream network for Cleveland State athletics. We are excited to get the softball and baseball season underway. I've already had some folks reach out and say, hey, when are you going to start covering Cleveland State baseball and softball? Well, that will happen once TCCAA play begins. So they're in their non-conference portion of the schedule at the moment. But once they start playing conference games at home, we will be there for both Cougar baseball and Lady Cougars softball. Always excited for that. Marnasia Houston gets the pass, makes the shot, and brings the score to 45-42. Number 20, Love Howard, is in the game. There's Bolden, easy shot. As Layla just really didn't have much in the way of defense up against her. Collins has this wanted away for a moment by Woods. And now here is Curry with the steal and the shot to put Chattanooga State back up by a point. as they make it 46-45. 7 minutes, 41 seconds to go in this game. A lot of time left. Macy Collins. And just flips it over to Pender. Sloan's pass is deflected and ultimately collected by Woods for Chattanooga State. Bolden gets it into Nora Walkup. Bolden being chased by Collins. And she draws the foul. I believe Collins. I believe Collins gets called for it. Kennedy Baker, she'll sit out for a bit. And the shot, good. Bolden shooting 72.3% from the line this season, and she was 100% on those two attempts. Up by 3 with 7 minutes to play as Lopez lopes down the floor, feeding it over to Collins. Macy. A pass to Houston, who thought about taking a shot. Now Macy does. Nothing there. Lopez grabs it, but then has it swatted away as she tries to pass it to Pender. And there is who else? Kimora Curry. As I mentioned before, it is just hard to believe that this Chattanooga State team, as Houston gets it, can't make the shot, but she is fouled by Walkup, I believe. Yep, Nora Walkup. She gets the flag thrown on her. But as I was saying, it's just hard to believe that this Chat State team only has 4 wins on the year. It's just hard to believe. This is a good, scrappy little team, which is what you expect from Coach Franklin. And banking it off the glass is Houston. Marnasia, 47.3% free throw shooter. Woods pulls up. Nothing there. Collins with the rebound. Nice job from Macy in the traffic. Lopez looking for help. Sloan Pender being guarded by Bolton. Getting it inside to Houston, but has it stripped away. And now it is Woods who feeds it over to who else but Curry. Walkup's three-point attempt is for naught. Pender down the floor. That long brown ponytail flapping in the breeze as she makes the shot to tie us back up. 5 minutes, 41 seconds remaining. Back and forth these two teams go. Chattanooga State 3-7 in conference play. The Lady Cougars with a 500 conference record at 5-5. As I mentioned earlier, we will be back with a live stream of Modlo State Sports. They've got their basketball game. Next basketball game is Saturday against Volunteer State, and they've moved the times of those games at the Tullahoma campus to 11 a.m. for the ladies, 1 p.m. for the men. But the next Cougars basketball action will be against Columbia State on February 7th. I just called Motlow State and Columbia State here this past, when was that? It was Friday. This past Friday. That game got moved. It was originally supposed to be on Saturday, but we all know what happened on Saturday with the storm, so they moved those games to Friday. And Columbia State, Coach Winston Neal, Coach Arthur Latham, Chris Leggett, those guys, they know how to coach, and they have got some fine teams, so the Cougars will definitely have their work cut out for them February 7th against Columbia State, the Chargers. And Love Howard, that's a two-point shot, but a pretty one all the same. That puts the Lady Tigers back up again, 50-48. Here's Collins, feeds it inside, and a nice job. The beautiful pass and subsequent shot from Marnasia Houston ties us back up again. And the steal now is Collins. Some hustling defense. Gets possession back over to the Lady Cougars. Macy feeds it back into Houston. That was how they scored their last 2 points. Trying it again. Houston's fouled. Walk up. She will come in to sub for Cassidy Thomas. Nora from Woodbury, Tennessee. Went to Cannon County High. Walk up, one of the 4 sophomores. And Houston manages to sink the free throw to go up by 1. This seriously does have all of the makings of the last team to score wins kind of game. Here's Woods racing baseline, now backs away. Capana in the game, and here's Love Howard. My goodness, she shot that thing from Chattanooga. The three-pointer is good for Love Howard to go up by 1 for Chat State. Macy Collins finds Capana all by herself over in the far corner, but she elects to flip it over to Sloan Pinder, who raises, and beautiful job. A nice layup with the left hand. And that puts the Lady Cougars up by 1. 3:40 now left to play. And a rambunctious home crowd here, and the steal by Macy Collins. The Lady Cougars coming up with a stop. They'll need more of those. Tried to pass it over to Houston, but it went off the foot of a Chat State player. I believe that was Love Howard. Now Love gets it to Woods. Layla Bolton. The pick set by Howard. Layla just charges to the bucket and can't get it to fall. There's Houston. And she stepped out. Oh my gosh. A nice effort for the rebound. But she steps out, so it is possession, Chat State. Under 3 minutes to play. And that puts the Lady Tigers ahead once again as Layla Bolden sinks it. Back and forth they go. The Lady Cougars need some stops. Of course, they need some points at this point, but they certainly need to make some stops on the other end of the floor. Nice spin move from Pinder. She loses the handle and thus loses possession. For a moment, I thought that Curry had swatted it away and was last to touch, but not the case. Curry, this is Woods rather, as she puts it in another gear. Capana with a loose defense on her. Nice pass over to Bolden. Layla circles around, finds Love Howard, and that is a little short on the three-point attempt. Capana carries it down for the Lady Cougars. Damoni Capana, a freshman from Knoxville, went to Fulton High. So the Lady Cougars lose possession once again. A minute 53 to play. Cassidy Thomas back in the game for Coach Franklin. Headed baseline, and my goodness, what a shot. An awkward angle, but she sinks it anyway. Akaya Woods puts the Lady Tigers up by 3 as it is now 57-54. Carrying it down, Capana. Coach McWilliams wants a timeout. Down by 3 with a minute 35 to play. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network. The men's action will begin here. It's scheduled anyway to begin in 34 minutes. Looks as though we will be pretty much on time. Unless this game perhaps goes to overtime, which is entirely possible here, the way this one's been moving along. Coaches McWilliams and McGloster, they've had their say for the timeout with the Lady Cougars. And back to the action we go. Feeding it now to Ziara Thompson. She gets called for traveling. Oh my, it looked kind of ticky-tacky call, but so be it. You know, you see players take 3 and 4 steps on layups and no whistle. Big long pass over to Curry. Kimura pulls up, slows it down a little bit. And why not? You're ahead by 3. Why get in any big hurry here? 12-10 now on the shot clock. Bolden. Can't get that to go. There's Kennedy Baker. Great defense. Getting it off the glass. Feeding it now to Pinder. Sloan tees up the three-pointer, and it's good! We are tied up! Sloan Pinder knocking down the 3. Did somebody say tie game and perhaps overtime? Who was that? .50 seconds to play in regulation. Here comes Kimura Curry. Game clock ticking down, getting it over to Bolden. That shot doesn't go, but drawing the foul. So she will go to the line. With our score tied at 57, you've got one of the better free throw shooters for Coach Franklin and Chattanooga State up to the line that could put her team ahead with 36 seconds remaining. And now, 58-57. Sloan Pinder tied this thing up for Cleveland State with a timely three-point shot. And And yes, Coach McWilliams, you betcha. She wants to talk this over as she finds her team down by a pair with 36 seconds to go. 30-second timeout. Both men's teams looking on from the wings. As you can well imagine, they too are excited to watch their counterparts duke it out here. This has been a whale of a game. One of those, it stinks to have a team lose kind of games. I mean, when you lose, it always stinks, but there are times when, you know, you don't deserve to win. You get beat, you didn't deserve to win. Either team could claim a deserving notion that they should win. Oh my gosh. Apologize, a switcher malfunction there. For some reason, the equipment would not switch to the other camera there, as Macy Collins was knocked to the floor as she attempted to shot. And she now, with the free throw, has pulled her team within one with 31.9 seconds. Missing that shot, getting it over now. Capana for the three, nothing there. Rebound, grabbing it is Lopez. And now Pender with the ball, under 20 seconds. And a scramble, the scrum. Chattanooga State comes up with it. 10 seconds to play. And now Love Howard seals the victory, it appears, with 5.4 seconds to play. Now the steal as, oh my goodness! Oh, can you believe that? Can you believe it? Absolutely stunning! Damoni Capana, a three-pointer at the buzzer, ties us at 61. Holy cannoli. Oh my God. Oh goodness. 5 minutes on the clock for overtime. Yeah, let me pat myself on the back here. Did I call overtime or what? Yeah, I should play the lottery on the way home. What a game. Unbelievable. Again, we are tied as we head to overtime. Oh, goodness. Games like this are one of the reasons I do this. All right, Macy Collins and Cassidy Thomas in the circle. And Chat State grabbing possession. Here we go in OT. And Lopez, she gets called for a foul there. I guess she came up from behind and got a little too much. Didn't get the ball, I suppose. Woods. And she's met by Lopez. Now over to Curry. Curry now finds Love Howard all by herself. And that's a 2-point shot. (63-61) now as Chat State pulls ahead. And Sloan Pinder is leaning on, as you can see to the right of your screen. I don't know if she got injured somehow. She's not putting any weight on her right leg, on her right foot. So they have subbed for her. Let's hope she is indeed okay, but again, she appears to be reluctant to put any weight on her right foot. As play resumes here. Now here's Collins. Throws it up and grabs, well, somebody grabbed her, and she draws the foul with 4:14 in this overtime period. Thomas checks out, and this is Savannah McDonald, number 11, back in the game for Chattanooga State. Collins to the free throw line, and she pulls them a little closer. And we're tied up once again. Layla Bolden finds Curry, or pardon me, that is Woods, who loses her footing and the ball. Behind the back dribble from Capana with Curry on her tail. Now Lopez. Capana. She tied this, sent it to, she sent us to overtime with that three-pointer at the buzzer. And now, apparently, we have a charge on Cleveland State. So, possession to the Lady Tigers. With 3:30 remaining, we are tied still. And Collins comes in and tussles for the ball with McDonald and grabs possession on the jump ball. Nora Walkup in the game now for Chattanooga State, as Coach Franklin obviously wants some height on defense. Collins weaves through the traffic to put the Lady Cougars ahead. 3 minutes to play in the overtime period. And the steal from Houston as Kayla Lopez gingerly just saunters down the floor in no hurry. Kayla Lopez motioning Collins to the basket. 1 on the shot clock. And they call shot clock violation. It looked like she got the shot off with about 1 second left, but whatever. Here's Bolden. Gets it back over to Woods. And that shot just a little too long. Struggle for possession. And Chat State gets the possession arrow. Coming up on 2 minutes, 2:06 to play. Curry with the left hand. There's Houston. She has been a beast off the boards here in this second half with the rebounds. Layla Lopez, looks the no-look pass over to Houston, but Marnesia can't connect. We're under 2 minutes to play in this overtime period. Bolden goes far corner, tries to get it over to Walkup and does, as Woods, nothing there, rebound Walkup, and her putback goes off the backboard, so nothing there, so the Lady Cougars with a stop. And we have a timeout. A full timeout that Coach McWilliams has asked for. And now Sierra Thompson limps off the floor. And it does look like Sloan Pinder is feeling better. She's up on her feet, and hopefully she is feeling well enough to make her way back in the game. Again, not going to guess as to what her issue was. Again, she was not putting any weight on her right foot earlier. She just rolled her ankle and is now just kind of shaking it up. One minute, 6 seconds remain in this overtime period. Could we go to double overtime? The way this game's gone, I wouldn't count it out. Pinder is back in the game. That's good to see. The leading scorer for this Lady Cougar squad. Capana, pretty move, but there is the big tall Walkup, Laura Walkup, in the game, as Coach Franklin likes to have the tall young lady on the floor, on the defensive side of the floor. Now here's Woods, and yes indeed, you betcha, we're tied back up at 65 with under a minute to play. Capana, she's the one that sent us to overtime. She throws it up on a prayer, in and out of the bucket. Now here comes Bolden after the rebound, feeding it over to Woods. And she, no foul call. Bolden knocks it down with 13 seconds to play. Pinder with the shot, no good. And 2.7 seconds. Layla Bolden, her magnificent shot puts Chat State up. And she apparently was fouled. You would think if that's the case, they need to put some time back on the clock. The clock ran down several seconds as they were racing back down the floor after an apparent foul call. There was 13 seconds on the clock when Bolden made that shot. Now we're at 2.7 seconds. If she was fouled on the shot, they should add some time back. What a game. Apparently, Layla Bolden must have gotten scratched. They are wiping her arm down, and they put a bandage on it. Layla Bolden, again, a 72% shooter from the free throw line. She's done well in that department tonight. And there you go. And a heartbreaker for this Cleveland State team. But man, what a game. Holy smokes. One of those games that it just really stinks that one of these teams had to lose. And it really stinks that it was Cleveland State. So the Lady Tigers of Chat State will go 4-7 now in the conference. And the Lady Cougars, they are now 5-6 in the TCCAA. My gosh, what a game. So, as you can see, the men are now on the floor taking their warm-ups. They have put 20 minutes on the clock. So, we'll rejoin you here in about 15 minutes on the Game Time Sports Network. So, you can find this game, the one coming up, right where you found this one. You can go to GameTimeSportsNetwork.com, and the game also on the social media platforms. If men's game's half as good as this one, my goodness, we will indeed have a battle on our hands. So thank you once again for joining us. Boy, that was that game's going to be hard to top, certainly. As we move on for the Chattanooga State Tigers and the Cleveland State Cougars men's action coming up here shortly. I'm Jay Harper, and this has been a production of the Game Time Sports Network.